service or a product, but you are creating an experience. And that's why we say you got to go from creative to innovative. You got to think outside the box. So go ahead and finish that last sentence.
Thinking outside of the box makes eyes pop and dollars pop. In the business, we call it pop and wow.
Me and Divine got a thing called Pop and Wow. We learned it from a great mentor of ours, a multi-millionaire. He calls it Pop and Wow. One of the things is that when I shut down my business in Milwaukee, I went on the road. And I had to learn how to do fairs and carnivals where it'd be thousands of people, Ohio State Fair, millions of people. What makes somebody want to buy something from you? It's thousands of vendors out there selling everything from cheese puffs to fried Oreos. So what makes you different? We had to come up with this thing called Pop and Wow. If I just would have put the art up there, you know what I mean, it's just airbrushing. But the way that we marketed it, the way that we produced it, the way that we created an experience through the process of creating it made us one of the hottest airbrush companies in the country. The Pop and Wow. Sometimes it ain't even built around the price, it's built around how you package it. So let's go to page 20. So I'm going to give you guys some time. So we talked about this thing called the Pop and Wow. We all have this Pop and Wow kind of mentality. It's just it's a different way of looking at things. You know, sometimes the Pop and Wow is knowing how to write that presentation right. Sometimes that Pop and Wow is knowing what kind of, if your website ain't set up to where you can be able to get the money you need to get. Sometimes the Pop and Wow is you just not standing up to yourself or standing up to the customer to tell them what's your value. Sometimes the Pop and Wow is, you know, just pulling back outside of the picture and looking at how you can be able to position yourself in better ways and better situations. So your Pop and Wow is the mentality that you got to look at things. You got to look at it from a three-dimensional perspective because listen here, you cannot be successful just off of entrepreneurship, one angle perspective. Brick and mortar, I just sell this. That don't work no more. You got to be able to work this thing from different angles. When people call me up and they say, Malcolm, we want you to speak, whether you want me to come speak to a corporate organization or a school, guess what? My presentation is the same. It's just a Pop and Wow that I put in there to be able to tweak it a little bit that makes it powerful. So that Pop and Wow is the way to look at things. What makes you different? Why should somebody invest in you? Why should somebody pay you? What makes you different? And that's what we talk about. Why should someone dig in their pockets and spend their hard-earned cash with you? One of the things is that I realized a long time ago with selling my products is that there are people walking around with my cash in their pockets. That's my cash in their pockets. All I got to do is get my Pop and Wow together, get them a reason what makes me different, and position myself so I can get my money they owe me. That's my money. And that's how the way you got to look at it. You got to look at every situation like not from a fear of, am I going to make some money, but from how many people going to be there? 10 people? Out of those 10 people, I'm going to get somebody. And if you always look at it from that perspective, you can win. It's positioning. So I'm going to give y'all a couple minutes to go ahead and write that in because guess what? I'm gonna get ready to open this up because I want to hear some information, hear some of your Pop and Wow suggestions. This is your time too. If you got any questions, comments, we can go ahead and open that up a little bit as well. Pretty much these are four main principles. 5 main principles. John, I need you, my man. All right, so we're going to success mindset. The number 1 is to believe. The first one.
What is it?
Believe.
She took a notebook.
Oh, okay. The second one is overcome. The third one is complete. The fourth one is to study. And the last one is focus. Okay, so when we get to talking about believe, I'm gonna go ahead and read this. Successful people believe in growth. They believe their skills will improve as they gain experience. They believe they will find roadmaps, strategies, and resources that will help produce the results they want. If we are confident that we will overcome these challenges, we learn from them and keep trying until we find successful course of action. The traits associated with a growth mindset are a recipe for success. When we choose the growth mindset over the fixed mindset, where you are today becomes irrelevant. The only thing that matters is where we're going. I say. All right, 5 things that you must develop to help you with your mindset for success. First one, we talked about believe. Believe and you'll succeed. Believe, you'll succeed. Like, you have to visualize it. We were just talking about, like Betty was talking about, like Devon was talking about, that setting up those different affirmations in your life. We just recently bought a new vehicle, a nice luxury vehicle. But before we bought that vehicle, I spent, I don't know how many weeks going to car dealerships. And I could have just got a little something, a little Ford or a little Prius or something like that. But we went only to high-end car lots. Because we had a focus, and our vision was to have something that was luxury. So I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. I didn't know, I never even had a luxury vehicle. But I went to every lot and drove Mercedes, drove Lexuses, Range Rovers. This is one of the things Devon had taught me. Is that you got to, not only do you have to visualize it, you got to put yourself mentally in that environment. You got to feel what that leather feels like. You got to feel that new car, smell that new car smell. So we have to believe so we can succeed. 2, overcome one obstacle at a time. A lot of times we put so much pressure on ourselves thinking that we have all of the answers, and we have to slow down a little bit and take one little problem at a time. We wake up in the morning, we got all these different, I got to pay this, I got to do here, I got to pick up the baby, I got to do this, I got all these little, how I'm going to do this, I got to pay this bill, I still want to write my book, but we don't really spend the time to slow down, because a lot of times what happens is all these obstacles can be clustered. It's a path that, okay, we're going to do this, the family stuff I got to do. I'm going to mix all the family stuff together to make sure that my family stuff is taken care of. My business stuff, all right, on Wednesday, I'm doing my emails, I'm doing my marketing, I'm getting everything. So we have a weekly schedule. Me and my father and our family have kind of came up with this. I don't know how my father started it. Mondays is Money Monday. We take care of bills, we make money, we talk business. So every Monday, I focus in on making money. Tuesday, normally is family, organized, kind of structural day, where we're doing a lot of organization, structuring. Me and my dad, family is sitting down talking about how we going to do a new business venture. You know what I mean? We do a farmer's market kind of like thing every week. So we talk about new products, how we going to set the booth up a little different. Wednesday is day of chaos. We don't do much on Wednesday. We chill out with the family, we enjoy each other, and we spend quality time reflecting on the rest of the week. Thursday, we getting prepared for Friday. Friday is hustle and bustle and grind time. Thursday is like your prep, sitting down with your accountability partners, sitting down with your coach, making sure that you got your mind right. Friday, even though on other people, see, we had to turn it around because on the weekends, me and my dad was used to working. We did festivals, fairs, and carnivals on the weekends. So we didn't really have a whole lot of downtime on the weekends. So we did Friday was prep. And what we would do with Friday is we would position ourselves and know how much money we wanted to make on Saturday. We would count it and know how much money we're going to make on Saturday. So Friday is all that preparation. Sunday, Saturday we working, we grinding. Sunday we resting. We start the cycle all over again. Now certain days you're gonna have certain things that's gonna throw you off track. You just move those on to the rest of your list. And what that does, it helps you be accountable. And then also what that does is it helps you with your growth, because when you have those times when you gotta overcome obstacles, it gives you almost a journal. All right, last week, Monday, what did I do? What did I do on Tuesday? How was my Wednesday? How was my Thursday? And it keeps you on a mental structure, so you always, not only are you holding yourself accountable, but you can see, you're able to see growth. So we're going to say number 3 is only compete with yourself. Say complete. Only compete with yourself. That's, like Aunt Betty was talking about that mask. We hold that mask and we look at other people and we say, oh man, I want to be that author. Or I want to be that life coach. Or I want to be that actor, whatever your passion is. And it's so easy sometimes to compete with other people, because it looks always greener on the other side of the hill, right, on the other side of the mountain. So we look at other people's lives. Oh, if I just had that relationship, if I just had more money, the money that they got, right? So we got to understand that the only people that we have to compete with is ourselves. Number 4, and all of y'all know this, study great people. I can give y'all a couple authors, people that I study, because one of the things that I realize is that success leaves clues. So I'll read, I'm going to read a book built around the first black millionaire because I want to be a millionaire. And I want to take on some of those traits, those mindsets that this millionaire takes. So I realized that a long time ago, for me to be great, I got to study great people. 5, one of the hardest ones, focus. My Aunt Betty has programmed that into my subconscious. She has, when I'm going through things in life, when I'm going through these hard times, when the hotel called me because it was a fire, when all these little issues come up, I hear my Aunt Betty's voice. Son, focus. Focus, son. Focus. Because I realize is that the focus is the only thing that I have to keep me on my path, because there's so many obstacles that can knock you off your focus. It's so many reasons for you not to be successful, right? So we all got to focus. I'm going to read a little bit about this, believe you'll succeed. You evaluate the available options in search of the most promising way forward. You persevere through setbacks because you're certain you will surpass them and continue the journey towards success. People react differently to similar situations based on their beliefs. When faced with adversity, one person understands it's the normal part of the process, while another person complains that things never go right for me and gives up. The first person cultivated a mental framework that leads to a productive response to the setback. If you believe there's an answer to a challenging problem, you send your brain on a mission to find the answer. You focus on the possibilities and solutions that will drive you forward. On the other hand, if you believe the problem is unsolvable, you direct your brain to find the best excuses available. So we're talking about this thing about excuses, always taking the easy route out. It's a whole lot of people that take the easy route. We talked about the whole story about the turtle and the rabbit. Turtle and the hare. The turtle got a slower pace. I was the turtle. Divine them was burning suckers around me because I was